YouTube, what is going on? Chris with Generals Comics and Pop Culture. All right, guys, this video today is exploring what we as buyers have to go through when buying comic books online. It's what sellers have to go through when dealing with buyers, and I just wanted to present this situation to show how issues can happen. So let this video be a lesson for sellers and buyers, okay? So if you sell books online, I want you to watch this and come away with something. If you buy books online, watch this and come away with something. Now, this is a video showing the details of an interaction that I had with the seller for a book that I bought on the Mercari app. Okay. By the way, Mercari app, I've had nothing but great purchases from in the past, and every seller has been awesome. I've had no issues whatsoever. It's a great app. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Now, I'm not trying to put this guy on blast. I'm just going to be completely honest. For those that don't know me, it's like I'm the type of person that goes to a restaurant, if I have money, and hey, I've never been made of money, especially in my recent years trying to raise my family, right? I pinch pennies, and I'm one that'll go to a restaurant and have a server like not give good service, but I'll still give them a big tip because I believe in empathy and compassion and understanding. But also, there's times where you need to stand up against the legitimacy of an argument, right? So when we're buying comic books, definitely if you're being done wrong or there's an issue, you need to speak up for yourself. And that's what I did here. So let's go into this, guys. So what you're looking at, obviously, is a Mark Spector Moon Knight #1. This is the photo that was on the Mercari listing, okay? It was one photo. Now, you can zoom in. So let's zoom in here because when I was looking at this, I was able to zoom in. They have this book listed at $10, okay? Let's zoom in. I don't think you could zoom in that close on the app. Maybe somewhere around this. There was one photo. It was in the bag. Now, we all know, all of us collectors should know that, first off, photos don't do justice in the first place, right? But a photo of a book in a bag the bag can really create disillusionment. It can really hide the true condition of the book. And if you look from this picture, it looks really clean. It looks really clean. The spine looks sharp. The edges look sharp. Top corner looks immaculate. No, there looks to be no blemish whatsoever on the cover of this book. The only thing that you may be able to notice is maybe the bottom right corner maybe has a tiny bit of blunting. But again, it's one picture. So I was like, okay, let me message this person. I messaged him, and I'm going to show you guys all my messages. But I messaged him and said, actually, I'm going to show you guys. We're going to pull over to, ignore these real quick here. Ignore these. This is what happened. So you can offer, right? You can offer on anything listed on Mercari. I offered $8, and they were offering free shipping with this. So hey, I give it to them. Free shipping. That's great. That's always great. And keep in mind, in near mint fair market value for this book is at a 9.8 is $10. It is at $10. If you look at sold items for near mint books, it's roughly a $10 book. You'll catch some at 7 or 8. You might catch some at 12 for near mint. Really high grade stuff. And fair market value is right at $10 for a 9.8. So I offered $8. He said, no, the price is firm. Decline my offer. I say, do you have any more pictures outside of the bag? I said specifically, if the corners are sharp and the spine is clean, I'll definitely do $10. They respond saying, sure, I'll upload later for you. I did list as near mint, though, so it's probably near mint condition. I say, okay, thanks. I waited 24 hours, probably over 24 hours. They never added more pictures. So a part of me was like, well, they're not listing more pictures. I shouldn't even bother. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay, look here. If they clearly stated and confirmed with me in messages, I listed it as a near mint, so it's got to be a near mint, right? And I told them specifically, corners sharp, spine clean. I pretty much stated what I was looking for, and they pretty much stated what they're selling. I didn't hear anything back, so I said, you know what? I'll take a chance. It's $10. I'm going to buy the book. So I bought the book. Let's go back to the pictures. Now, when I get the book, it was packaged perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with the packaging. And I pull out the book. And I pull it out of the bag, and I notice things. I'm like, whoa. So not only was that corner blunted, as you guys can see here, but there was a color breaking crease. And the corner wasn't even blended. I mean, it was rounded. I mean, you guys could probably see it there. And not even just along not even along the corner itself, but if you could look at even up towards the top of where I put the red, you could see that there's kind of dinging. I wouldn't say chipping because it's not like the old Silver Age chipped marble edges, but there's dings all the way up. Even on the left side of the red circle at the bottom, you can see some abrasions or whatever going on down there. Definitely down there. Definitely not clean at all, right? The spine, and you really can't see the spine. An immense amount of foxing at the bottom of that spine too for a 1989 modern book claiming to be in near mint. You can see color breaking spine ticks. I could see 1, 2, 3 just in this picture alone, and that continues all the way up the spine. You could not see those in the picture. Now, there's also this. If you guys look right by the guy's kind of the orangey red, the left arm, you guys could see kind of what looks like an indentation. There's multiple of those here, but you can't really see. I try to get light on it. And there's a couple more that are not shown in the picture, and it looks like somebody had a piece of paper on top of this book and was writing with a pencil or a pen, and the indentation seeped through into the cover of the comic book. I didn't circle a red mark around there, but hopefully you guys can see that right in the middle of the picture on the guy's arm. Now, the icing on the cake, guys, look at this. Look at where the arrows are pointing. Do you see what I see? There is what is, and you can feel it, the texture of what most likely, I would say possibly tape, but most likely a sticker. Because if it's any kind of Scotch tape or anything, it's going to, it's probably going to rip the actual cover. But it probably was a sticker, and you can see the edge of and it's sticky. It's got that sticky residue as a square mark all around the Moon Knight there. Unbelievable. There was a sticker on this book that was probably pulled off. Look at that. Look at that. Possibly a piece of tape, possibly maybe a piece of, maybe it wasn't Scotch tape, but maybe some kind of, packaging tape or something. I don't even know. But something that had sticky material that was stuck on and that at a later point in time was pulled off. Obviously, it didn't rip any of the color out, but it left the sticky residue along the edges of it. At this point, I'm infuriated because this isn't just, well, you didn't upload pictures and there's a kind of a blended corner. There are so many issues of this book. Now, before I go into the messages, let me just state this. Take away this tape or sticker issue, right? With the corner blunting in the crease, the color breaking crease on the corner, and the blend and the marks all around the edges, and then all the spine ticks and the indentations from what looks like a pen or a pencil. I don't see this book getting more than a 7.5 from CGC, which is what a very fine or a very fine minus. I don't remember off the top of my head. At best, I do not see. I mean, again, I use my Fantastic Four 74 that got a 7.0 as an example. That book was almost immaculate, and that got a 7.0. This is a modern book, an 1989 book. I don't see this getting any better than a 7.5 without the tape. With the tape, I can't imagine what this book will get from CGC. So I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough. Um, I don't know I'm not knowledgeable enough to know what CGC does with stuff like this. So anybody have that information, please let me know in the comments. But I can imagine that tape residue like this is going to knock it down at least a couple more grades. So you might be looking at a fine, maybe a fine plus, in my opinion, with this issue. So I was obviously pretty heated. So guys, let's go into how this went down. So after I saw this, I messaged him, and this is what I said. I'm gonna read it along. You can see on screen. I asked for more pictures. You assured me the book was near mint. It is not. Not only is the bottom right corner rounded with a color breaking crease, there is remnants of what looks like have been a sticker stuck to the actual cover. I would attach pictures, but I don't know how. Or a piece of tape, obviously. I was referring to the sticker residue. I go on to say, also multiple spine ticks. I specifically asked about sharp corners and clean spine. This book has neither. So they respond back. And again, so far, all I'm doing is speaking direct fact. I'm not saying anything other than this is what you told me. I asked for this. You didn't. You reassured me it was near mint. It is not. And this is why. And I put it all out on the table. The seller responds, Def didn't see the sticker or tape you speak of. There is a small ding on corner rendering it near mint, not mint condition. Please return it so I can give you a refund. And we're going to dissect this to the T here. First off, and I went to the seller's page, and he confirms it too in a minute here, but this seller sells a lot of comic books, graded comic books, CGC slab comic books. And this individual says there is a small ding on corner, and that's not true. There's not just a small ding on corner. There is a color breaking crease on corner and multiple dings along the edges. He says there is a small ding on corner rendering it near mint, not mint condition. I'm going to stop right there and let all my viewers know. How many of us collectors know that a mint condition comic book is like a needle in the haystack, even for brand new books? How many of you collectors know that even brand new books that are getting shipped off from Diamond are not mint books? You are lucky. We are lucky of getting a 9.8 after a press and clean of a brand new book that just hit the shelves. Even the 9.9s are extremely rare. I don't know the numbers, but what's a 9.9? One in thousands? Which would make a 10.0 even, so a near mint. We know that a near mint book is basically 9.4 to 9.8. So there is no way that you're going to try to tell me that you are actually believing this. I do not, at this point, I do not believe that the seller is being genuine. This seller sells CGC books. The seller sells, and he later said, I'm just going to say, he's been selling comic books for 15 years. There is no way somebody that's been selling comic books for 15 years is going to act like any brand new book is considered mint condition. So I'm already at this point, I'm like, this seller is trying to just play it down and try to, talk circles around me as if I don't know anything. So let's proceed. He says, and keep in mind of this, please return it so you can get a refund. He wants me to return the book. Also, if I remember correctly, he says, you asked and then bought before I had an opportunity to upload then. Okay, I waited over 24 hours for him to upload more pictures. So I said, how do I return ship it? And then I just clarified, I asked, and then you reassured. I asked him for more pictures, but then he reassured me that it was near mint, and the book is nowhere near mint. And I also waited over 24 hours and you never uploaded more pictures. Still, your description of the book was inaccurate, both in your listing and in your response to my question. And again, I'm not being rude. I'm not attacking. I am specifically stating fact. And this is what he responds with. I work and have children. Wasn't my first priority. Ask for a return through the app. They will provide a label. They will provide a label for me to return the book. Keep in mind what he's saying here, but let's go to this comment. I work and have children. Wasn't my first priority. Oh my God. Wow. Let's just go on here and then I'll circle back. He says, for the price the book was, more than fair. Did you zoom into the picture that was listed? Absolutely. Gave a clear insight into the condition, as you're the only one I've had issues with in like 15 years. First off, he did not give clear insight. There was nothing in the details of the listing except for like new, near mint. Because you can't put like comic grades in the actual condition because it's for toys or clothes. So it's like poor, good, or like new, you know. So he put like you, but then he put Mark Spector, issue number 1, near mint, NM. That's it. So no, you did not give clear description. The price is not fair for the condition that the book is in. And you did not give clear insight into the condition of the book. Absolutely not. You actually clearly stated falsely again when I messaged you about it. So this is how I respond to this. And keep in mind that he said, I have children and I work, wasn't my first priority. He goes and says this. Even brand new books are rendered near mint plus. Mint is 10, which is extremely rare. The price was not fair in this condition. I say 3, but I meant the. The sticker remnants make this book a $2 book. Even if that wasn't there, the other defects would put this book at a very fine minus at best. I feel your defense to justify this is in bad ethics. And again, I'm not even attacking him. I'm taking the way that he's trying to defend himself and talk circles around me and undermine the validity of my statements as bad ethics. Okay, then I go on to say, I say though, but I meant to say you. You cannot gauge a book when the pictures show it in a bag. And I meant to say you again. You didn't give a clear description. Your description was near mint, and that is 100% inaccurate. And he says this, my apologies. I've already stated that. Actually, I don't believe you said my apologies. I believe this is the first time he apologized. And then he goes on to say, please return so I can give you the money back. Arguing about it isn't going to solve anything. Okay, first off, I'm not arguing, okay? I'm stating clear fact. And I never stated what my result, as a seller, and I'm a seller as well, you should work resolve. Because if I was a seller, I'd be like, okay, well, I apologize. It's not in the condition that you're in. If you want to return it, do this and print out a label and return it. Or are you willing to, would you like partial refund or whatever? Give me my options. He hasn't given me that. So, I go on to say, I would humbly advise taking pictures out of the bag with multiple pictures. It is a little more work. And I'm saying this to him saying, I have children and I work. It wasn't my top priority. So this is what I'm kind of responding to. I would humbly advise taking pictures out of the bag with multiple pictures. It is a little more work and will save you in the long run. And it will eliminate room for dissatisfied customers. Lastly, I work and have children too. But when I post things for sale online, I take the time to do it right. That's called ethics. If you don't have the time to do it ethically and transparently, rather than using working and children as an excuse, I'd suggest not posting it altogether. So I blatantly called him out. I'm like, you're not going to sit here and tell me that, first off, you've been selling, well, and he gets into this. So this is where he kind of like shoots himself in the foot. But check this out. He says, honestly, it's just a filler book I put up when I started Mercari, LOL. Okay, again, what does a filler book mean? A $10 book isn't a filler book. It's a $10 substantial book. Anything you sell isn't a filler. It's a listing that's valid, and you need to be transparent in all of your listings, period. Then he goes on to say, the real books get sold through Heritage and Comic Link. It's just easier to sell $5 to $10 books on here. I normally take multiple picks on all listings. I'll check my... So again, he's backtracking now from what he said originally. And again, I'm taking this wording, the real, filler books, the real books get sold through Heritage. So all he's doing is shooting himself in the foot. He's telling me that you're a heavy seller. You sell on Heritage and Comic Link as well. So it seems to me you have a lot of time on your hands to sell books online, which goes against what he was saying. I have children and I work, so I don't have time to post a post ethically. I normally take multiple pictures on all listings. I'll check my store tomorrow. Now get this. Here's the thing. He was sending these messages after this is what I did. So I went to solve a problem into the Mercari app, and I said, listing wasn't as listed, whatever. So Mercari basically gave me a credit refund that I can use on their store, and they allowed me to keep the book. Keep in mind what he said originally. He said, go to Mercari, ask for a refund, and they'll give you a return label. And he said, send it back. He didn't know that Mercari was going to allow me to keep the book, which means that they're probably insured, and they probably credited his account, and they credited me and allowed me to keep the book, okay? He thought I was going to have to return it. But now, after this happened, this is the day later, okay? This is the next day. He's changing his tone, and he's shooting himself in the foot because he goes on, he's saying different things than what he was saying when I was originally inquiring. And now he's saying, I'll check my store tomorrow and see if I can round up a few copies of this, and I'll try to get you a better one. And then he goes on to say, I will honestly say I didn't go through a lot of time grading this. It's a $5 book. For stuff like this, if someone isn't satisfied, I just refund and keep it moving. Rather you get it for free than have you upset about it. So keep in mind, he's saying this now a day later, a day after Mercari actually refunded me and told me to keep the book. So you know what I'm seeing that as? He didn't know that Mercari would allow me to keep the book and refund me. He thought I was going to return it. And now he's trying to act like he's an angel, saying, I'd rather you get it for free than have you upset about it. I would rather you just refund it and keep it moving and keep the book and get it for free. No, you don't, because you wanted me to print out a label and return the book. I was humble, and I closed on this note. I just saw these, and I appreciate you taking the time to explain more. I did what you suggested, and yes, the app refunded me credit and said to keep the book. I will say, though, that your initial responses were not very favorable to my perception of you as a seller. I am sure, as a seasoned seller, I don't need to advise you on how to avoid this in the future, but still, it shows that every listing counts, even for quote-unquote filler books. Gotta take the time to do it right. Thanks again, and I wish you the best. So, guys, I'm sorry. I may be sounding cynical in my tone right now, but here's the thing: I don't believe this seller. I don't believe them one bit. I believe that they ultimately they saw that I was upset. They tried to justify. The fact that it was, oh no, it's not mint, it's rendered near mint. No, you know the difference between a near mint and a mint, and you know the difference between a near mint and a book that looks like this. I'm sorry. And then they tried to be smug about it and just say, send it in. Arguing about it isn't going to do nothing. Just send it in. You want a refund? Send it in. Go through the app. I don't have time for this. I have children and a job. I don't have time for it. But I get reimbursed from the app. I get to keep a book from the app. And then he changes his tone saying, honestly, it is a $5 book. which it's probably not even that. Honestly, it's just a filler book, which is an excuse. Honestly, I put the real books here and here and here, which means you do have a lot of time in your hands to do it right. And honestly, I would rather you be happy and keep the book and get a refund and keep it moving. No, I don't. To me, I don't believe this guy. I'm not gonna buy from him again, and I'm sorry. So you let me know, guys. Am I smug? Did I handle this how you guys would handle this? Again, as a seller myself, even though I'm not a big seller, when I have sold a few books, just take the time to take a few more pictures. Always take pictures of the book outside of the bag. Always. Always take more than one picture. And if somebody asks you, don't respond stating again that it's near mint without taking a moment to at least double check, even if you're not going to add more pictures, because it's just going to shoot you in the foot as a seller. Why waste my time? But why, as a buyer, but why waste your own time? Why? And you're going to lose out. You're going to lose out. You're going to, you're going to lose money. You're going to get a ding on your ratings, whatever it is. And I'm not going to give this guy a bad rating. That's not how I solve things. But I want to make a video about it because I want to talk about these things. I want to talk about what you as sellers can do to avoid this type of situation. I want to talk to you guys as sellers on how to be ethical and how to communicate with possible buyers. Transparency, ethics means so much. And I want to tell you buyers to be careful, and I knew that I would be protected, one way or the other. And thank you to the Mercari selling app for allowing me to get credit and keep the book. Obviously, I'm extremely happy. Honestly, if this guy was like, all right, let me give you a partial refund. I'll give you $5 back. Honestly, I would have been okay. I would have took it. But because he wanted to be smug about it, he gets no money. And, he doesn't get his book back. So he lost. So my word of advice, guys, just be humble and be ethical. There was no need for this. And I'm sorry, I don't, hey, look, if something got lost in translation and this guy was seriously trying to be genuine, maybe I missed that, but I'm a pretty good judge of character. I'm pretty good with I'm a businessman. I'm a writer, and I'm good with understanding how to interpret word, the written word and the spoken word. And I can deduce from this situation that this guy just had his nose in the air about it the whole time and then tried to play it off after Mercari gave me a full-on discount and said, keep the book. That's not a good look. It is not a good look whatsoever. So that's my advice, guys. Again, I try to keep it positive, and even though I'm kind of speaking on the seller in a negative light, it's just to enlighten us all. Again, ethics, ethics, ethics. At the end of the day, ethics. I hope the seller learned something, and I hope we all can take something positive from this and move forward in a positive direction. So that's my humble tip for today, guys. With that being said, thank you for watching. Leave some comments. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And until next time.